We're about halfway through the year, so we're about halfway through the month of January, 20 days into those New Year's resolutions. And if you have been wondering, why is this so darn hard? I knew that there were going to be some challenges. I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but the month isn't even over yet and you're considering giving up. Don't give up yet. All things are possible through God who strengthens us. Today we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you a little inspiration so that you can keep pushing towards your goal, because we're going to finish strong this year. And even though things are going to come up against us, we are going to be prepared to fight. We are going to gather our team. We're going to gather our resources. We are going to gather our strength. And whatever strength that we don't have in our own power, we're going to call on God so that he can give us the strength, the resolve, the tactics, the plays. He is going to call the plays this year in our life, and we're going to be victorious. We are going to walk out of this year feeling like we are undefeated, feeling like we are champions. I invite you to join me so I can show you how. So welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a minute, and I just want to say, everyone, welcome back. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. So let's just start with the good news. The good news is you are going to triumph over all of your enemies. Everything that tried to come against you last year that you fought so hard to overcome, those things are going to be defeated in this season. I'm sure of it. Another thing is God is going to exalt you. He's going to put you in front of all of those who doubted you, and they're going to have to watch you win in this season. But what I need you to know is there's bad news too. Bad news is, I know you didn't think that the devil was just going to sit back and watch you live your best life and not throw anything your way. I know that you don't think that there's not going to be anything that you're going to have to overcome. And I know that you're tired of fighting, because I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting the same battles over and over again. I'm tired of feeling like I'm so close to my goal, only to feel like I'm starting all over again at the same starting point. It's like how God led the children of Israel through the desert, and they were going to the promised land, and it seemed like they just kept walking in a perpetual circle. I need you to know that that circle and that cycle, it can stop. But you're going to have to realize that even though we've got our favorite Bible verses, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. God works all things together for our good. And that's absolutely true. So that's some more good news. But let's break it down. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. So that means that a weapon is going to be formed against us. That means that we are going to be doing the very best that we can to succeed, and things are going to come up unexpectedly. But I also want you to remember, this is not your first fight. This is not your first battle. See, God has been preparing you through all of the small battles that you have faced over the course of time. It's like God was building your strength. He was building your faith in all of the tests and trials that you've been through before. You know, like when you felt like you were down to your last, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, God shows up, or God sends someone, or you come up with an idea. See, all those heartaches, all those setbacks, all those trials that you've overcome in the past that you think is part of your story. Of course, they're part of your story. They're writing who you are. They're building your muscles. They're building your faith. All those experiences have gotten you to the point where you are now. And so now you're prepared. And you're never fighting alone. Into every battle that you go into, God is there. He is fighting beside you. He is going in front of you. He is clearing a path for you. I watched the Indiana-Miami game, and that's a Cinderella story if ever I've seen one. To watch Fernando Mendoza, who just lived 2 blocks away from Miami and was never recruited to be part of the team. It's like he was overlooked, he was undervalued. But it taught me so many valuable lessons that are going to help us to win in this next season of our life. The first thing that I realized is that they were 16-0. That means that they never lost the battle. See, that reminds me that when God is on our side, that the battle is already fixed, that there is going to be competition. We are going to have to train. We are going to have to put on our best performance, and we are going to have to show up every day and fight the enemy. But that doesn't mean that we can't win. Also, it shows me that sometimes the enemy is going to spin the block on you. They had to beat Oregon and Ohio State twice. So that means that addiction, that flaw, that enemy, that thing that is coming against you, and you thought that you've got it licked. You thought that I'm never going to see this again. Like, I've dealt with that. I'm done with that. But sometimes you're not done with it. Sometimes the enemy is going to try you one more time. But you've got to remember that God is with you. He is by your side and he is fighting with you. So even if the enemy spins the block on you, just know that maybe they didn't get enough the first time, but you are more than enough. You are equipped with more than enough power, more than enough strength in order to overcome anything. And don't be discouraged when the enemy shows up again. It's just more of a reason for you to fight, more of a reason for you to show them that it wasn't a fluke, it wasn't a phase, it wasn't just luck. I am who I say I am. I am who God says who I am. And if you don't believe me, let me show you again. Second thing that I learned is that, he didn't pay any attention to how people tried to bait him into saying that he had something to prove to them. Because see, sometimes when people reject you, it's less about proving something to them because your self-esteem takes a hit. You wonder to yourself, am I who I say I am? Am I who God says I am? Am I really good enough? And so sometimes it's less about proving something to somebody else, but proving something to yourself. Because you are your competition. You are your only competition. No matter what value somebody else places on you, that doesn't mean that you're valueless because they don't see your value. See, sometimes you have to prove to yourself that you are worthy, that you are worth it. And sometimes you've got to shake the dust off your feet and leave behind those who don't acknowledge you. They didn't acknowledge Jesus in his own town. They called him the carpenter's son and said, who? Who are you? Like, aren't you Joseph's son, the carpenter's son? Like, God, where? God, who? But just because people don't recognize your value doesn't mean that you don't have any value. I saw the coach point his hands to the sky to thank God. And sometimes your faith is silent, but speaks very loud. You don't have to go around shouting about God all of the time. See, you show that God is with you by your actions, by your behavior, in the small things, in giving thanks where thanks is due, and giving credit where credit is due. The quarterback gave credit to his team. Every time they asked the players questions, they gave credit to the people around them, the people who surrounded them, the people who were helping them. Because, see, God is a God of relationships, and the world is a world of relationships. We are here, and we're going to be connected to people, but you got to connect yourself to the right people. Can't just be connected to anybody. Sometimes you can't win because of who you're connected to. You think so bad that you need to be part of this group, or you need to be part of this relationship, or you need people to accept you and to validate you and move you into their clique, or make you feel important by choosing you. You're not a pick-me. See, you have your pick of the litter, but you have to pick wisely. And you have to pick a circle around you who's moving towards your common goals this year. You have to pick a circle around you who wants the same thing that you want, that are willing to work as hard as you are willing to work, who doesn't want to take all of the credit, but knows that we need each other and together we can do great things. See, your very first partner is going to be God, but God puts people around you to help you. And if you pick the right people, then they can help you. But if you pick the wrong people, then that's going to be a hindrance to your success. So when someone rejects you or someone doesn't choose you, sometimes that's God's protection. Sometimes God is putting you in the people with the people in the right places so that you can receive the blessing that is for you, because sometimes the blessing is tied to where you are and who you with. Bernie Mac said it, who you with. And so just know, in this season, yeah, you're going to have to practice hard. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to show up time after time after time. You're going to have to never back down when the enemy comes against you, when obstacles come against you, because sometimes it's not the devil. Sometimes it's God showing you your strength. Sometimes it's God showing you that he is your strength. But we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And so we're going to be champions this year. Whether we are the champion of our family, whether we are the champion of our job, whether we are the champion of whatever it is that we are choosing to be great at. Greatness is forged in fire. Nobody just wakes up and is great. Now, God says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, but you're going to have to do your part. You're going to have to put on the armor of God. And that armor means trusting, believing, reading the Bible so you know who God is and what God can do. So you know who you are and what you can do through Christ. It also means never backing down. You might have to take a time out. You might have to revise your plans. You might be at the last and the fourth down. And you think that you can make it one way, but God tells you take a chance. Walk out in faith. I am with you. No, it doesn't seem like the likeliest choice. No, it doesn't seem like the easiest choice. But sometimes the hardest choices give the greatest rewards. Just ask anybody. So I just want you to know that God is the God of everything, that he can help you with anything at any time. All you have to do is ask. Bye.